Hi, I'm Darren and welcome to New Factory Classics, and this is How to Save Star Wars. I was about to make a Sequels That Suck video on Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, but then I realized I didn't like Star Wars The Last Jedi either. Frankly, the lion's share of the live-action Disney content has not been great. Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 and Andor Season 1 are really the only live-action content from Disney that I actually like. Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian Season 3 kind of fell off the cliff. I'd say Episode 7 was good, but frankly it's just a remake of A New Hope. The rest of the content has jumbled theming. Sometimes it's too special effects based, and sometimes there's just too much of a plot that's going all over the place that you don't know what's going on. Overall, it hasn't been received well by any of the fans. So here are some of my ideas to save Star Wars. Number 1. Quit beating up on the Jedi. One of my biggest pet peeves of The Acolyte was how bad it painted the Jedi. Look, all organizations have bad apples, and the Jedi have about 10,000 members, so there's bound to be a few that aren't that great. That show painted every single Jedi as inept, stupid, and having bad morals. That show painted every Jedi so bad that the only decent Jedi in the show was the shadow of Yoda that happened right before the final credits. Newsflash, Disney, people love the Jedi. That's literally why you have a store in both theme parks where people spend hundreds of dollars to build lightsabers. People have been fascinated by these space knights for the last 50 years. Painting them as idiots and systematically corrupt is not going to help you make any money. Let people root for the hero and start writing some decent heroes again. Number 2. Take a break from the Jedi-Sith War. The Mandalorian early seasons and Andor Season 1 were great shows that didn't even focus on the Jedi. This universe is vast with hundreds of thousands of different species and different planets. You don't have to focus on the Jedi-Sith dichotomy. If you were to make a modern movie about the planet Earth, you would be able to make many stories that didn't focus on the CIA and MI6. There are thousands of movies that take place on Earth that don't focus on that 1% of the population that are two different types of government entities. Taking a break from the Jedi stories would be a great way to bring them back into focus many years from now. They are a tiny group of population in the universe, yet you make every single movie with 30% of your characters being either Jedi or Sith. Number 3. Take some notes from the video games. Knights of the Old Republic is the best Star Wars game of all time. It takes place 1,000 years before Episode 1. It had an awesome cast, including the best droid to ever grace the Star Wars universe. Revan was an awesome villain, and frankly, it was a great show of how different a Sith could be from the modern-day Sith that we are used to. This would honestly make for a great film series. Jedi Fallen Order was another great game. While it took place in between episodes 3 and 4 and technically took place during the Skywalker saga, it gave us a completely different side of what was going on during this time period. This story was completely new and it made for a great introduction for Cal Kestis. Number 4. A reboot. Okay, hear me out before you come after me. I am not saying we completely reboot Star Wars like the DCU is a reboot from the DCEU, but what I am saying is that Star Wars needs a fresh start. We have so many stories connected to the Skywalker saga that have all been released in the last 50 years. It really is time to move away from that era. While Disney has technically moved away with some of their High Republic content, and they also have that new Dawn of the Jedi movie coming out, maybe it's time to move into the future. Way into the future. What does the universe look like 1,000 years after Palpatine, Luke, and Rey? Does the universe stay in this cycle of Sith and Jedi war constantly, or is there a new issue to deal with 1,000 years afterwards? The timeline is completely open and Disney could create an entirely new story from scratch. This is something that I'd like to see. Those are just 4 quick new ideas that Disney could follow to help change up the Star Wars universe. New content could engage both old fans and bring in new fans to the Star Wars universe, and that's what it really needs to be saved. What do you think Disney could do to help save the Star Wars universe? Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and share. And while you're at it, leave a comment on my channel. I so desperately crave the acceptance of strangers online.